This is a Clouds weather alert.
Good late Tuesday, early Wednesday, meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center right now, giving you a look at those current temperatures here in the middle of the night, Roy. We're talking about those 70s on the boards. That kind of tells you here that things are a little bit unusual for early April, Roy, with some storm fuel around. I know we have some storms on the board. A tornado watch just off toward the west, just off toward the north of the viewing area, and we're expecting here that likely to get expanded as we look here later throughout the overnight and in the morning. So just stay tuned for the latest. Maybe we'll get lucky. There's a chance things don't come together all the way, but if they come together here with the storm development enough with the activity of the west, we'll probably have quite a few warnings around severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings. So just keep that in mind. I know it's kind of conditional, but as things really try to get going, if they actually do, then that can lead to issues again like tornado warnings here on the board even. So let's go ahead and go to our tornado safety tips here right now and see you guys that. So the tornado watch is issued, and I mean even now you just want to stay tuned for those latest updates here as we look at things. But just have multiple ways to receive alerts, have ways to be woken up here during the night if severe weather is headed your way, and then if a tornado warning is issued here, that means you need to seek under that sturdy building, get as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and protect yourself from flying debris by putting on a bicycle helmet, a football helmet, something like that, baseball helmet. So we could have some of those in the overnight, early morning, especially in our western areas, even later in the morning. Maybe as folks are really out and about in the mid late morning, we could have at least severe thunderstorm warnings toward north central Florida and the first coast, if not some tornado warnings, and even the early afternoon is a possibility. I know Southeast Georgia, we're watching there probably late morning, give or take. So I just keep that in mind. We'll be giving you guys the latest here as is necessary to protect you, your friends, and your family. I know we have that moderate risk here as we were looking earlier on. I know our logo is red, we're in alert mode. Definitely some issues toward areas, West Virginia, Indiana, and the like, Kentucky. Could have been worse, but we did have a tornado just a little while ago. It was seen around Conyers, Georgia, and we got a watch. There's still a risk here for an isolated strong tornado in the overnight hours here within our viewing circle. I mean, this risk was nothing at one point, and now it's a 10% significant tornado risk here as we're looking toward Albany and other areas here. They're not in the tornado watch right now. But you see Tipton, Blakely here that moved the map over a little bit. You have Camilla, Moultrie, Fitzgerald. You see Dawson there. Let's show you that real quick. So just be prepared here to take those tornado precautions during the overnight hours. Again, we're just going to watch things very carefully here. Let me go ahead and zoom back on out. I know we have some of these storms to the south, and we'll have the new outlook for day one out soon. That's technically valid after 8 a.m., but it's a situation where day two outlook has areas to the east here under a slight risk of some severe weather. So we just got to keep that in mind as we're looking at things. I know you see some significant trend of parameters, but then significant parameters you saw super cell composite, and then now is your instability. So again, I just gonna continue to watch things here to see how unstable things are for some of these storms to start getting warnings out here toward the west. So you see the enhanced risk and the slight risk, which is still pretty significant. It's a 2 out of 5 concern here. So we'll watch all these storms out toward the west. I know you can kind of see the shift in the winds eventually as we look out that way. I mean, the threat a little lower down here, but technically a strong tornado can't be ruled out in some more zones here later on in the overnight hours. So just gotta keep that in mind. Strong tornadoes in EF2 or stronger in intensity here. Of course, that's something that be surveyed after the fact, but still, that means considerable damage. So just gotta be really careful here in these type of situations. We're just gonna continue to give you guys the latest as it is needed, but let's get into some of that extended forecast right now here as we're looking at things, as we're giving you guys the latest updates here Let me go ahead and go over to the graphics computer source. And I know we have that big solar eclipse on Monday. And now this doesn't show the specific forecast for Monday, but I know you can see some of the rain here as we're looking. The next 7 days, most of that's from this event here over the next 12, 18 hours or so. As we're looking at things out toward the west, you do see too some moisture, and then I know next week, early next week, we could have some more cloud cover though coming into play. That'll be something really focusing on as we look ahead. And right now, it may be something where it gets dark out there to the west, but you don't really get to see it. Here, we won't get dark from it. I mean, you might be able to notice a little difference, but you have to wear your glasses the whole time for that eclipse peaking around mid-afternoon Monday here in north central Florida. So we'll watch that. We're watching, of course, all our different counties for the civil rescue overnight and in the morning. Maybe lingering to about 2 o'clock or so. As we're looking toward Marion County, toward Flagler County, you see Putnam County in there. We're going to continue to give you guys the very latest as needed. And then, of course, the severe threat is conditional, but it's probably going to come into play in some of our areas. And we could have tornadic activity. I mean, if that really comes into play, the tornado threat is there, and it could be something where we're on for a while. So hopefully it didn't happen, but some areas across the country did underachieve, but not everybody sometimes is so lucky, so we got to be really careful. 90% chance of rain Wednesday. It will clear out later in the day, but a lot of the day with those storms around, 76 for the high. Cooling off, though, cooler, coming in drier, coming in 40s. I mean, that's cool. That's chilly for this time of year. It's below average. I mean, you see 51, 55 for the average lows, and we're in the 40s there, and the average highs. I'll kind of step on over for a second here, and you can kind of see what I was talking about there with the 70s, upper 70s. And that'll be something where we're going to be below average here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then warming back up towards Sunday here in terms of that high at least, and the average low Monday is similar to what we actually will have in play that day. So something to kind of keep in mind. I know as we kind of look here, as we kind of give you guys the latest, you see what we're expecting for that Tuesday there as well, warming up in the 80s. So, I mean, not just 80, but like 82 there is what we're talking about. So, again, that's something to kind of take note of here for sure as we give you guys the latest information to protect you, your friends, your family. And right now we're at 68 degrees here east of Stark, so pretty warm. Humidity's up there. That dew point value, let me check that real quick. 67, so that's pretty high here. Definitely some stronger storms in play potentially, and even some severe weather. So make sure you're staying tuned for the very latest here. And we had some different alerts here that have been tracking tornado watches toward the north here. I have a tornado watch further out. That goes until about 2 a.m. Central Time to the north, and all the way down to 8 a.m. Eastern Time as we're looking toward it is just north of the viewing region here, Americas, Vidalia, under this Eastman, Dublin, Swainsboro. So maybe we'll get lucky and the parameters focus more to the north, but definitely could have a watch in play. And maybe multiple watches, multiple warnings in play. It's kind of conditional here. Things could just break loose and we could have a pretty high end event, or maybe we get kind of lucky, or we could be somewhere in the middle. It's something where there's a higher ceiling than normal, but honestly, there's probably a lower floor than normal too here. If things just don't come into play, we may not get many warnings, but if they do, we could be here for hours and hours with tornado coverage. So kind of tricky. Stay tuned for the latest. I know the threat is there for stronger tornadoes here, especially in those northwestern counties. You see that enhanced risk 3 out of 5. That's for the tornadic activity. I know we do have a wind risk here. I'll see that after I see the hail risk real quick, but the tornado threat's really the reason that we have the enhanced risk in play. So just keep that in mind here. We'll be back at Necessary. I know right now a couple thunderstorm warnings in Georgia. There's one, and in Alabama there's one. One in Alabama is for Lee, Macon, and Tallapoosa counties. In Georgia, Albert, Abbeville, and Anderson. That goes into South Carolina too. And then classified warnings around Atlanta. So there's some return around, don't drown as well. Probably not as big of a flash flooding threat toward our area, but we'll make sure that things don't add up too quickly with that rainfall. But for now, thanks so much for tuning in and trusting in me. We're back with the latest here on the different platforms as needed. So we'll be here for you guys here as it is necessary. So keep it tuned to Clouds Weather We'll keep you up to date. I see there's a warning now popping up in thunderstorm warning in Maryland. Any questions or comments at home? I don't see any. But of course, we'll be here to try to answer things for you as they develop.